Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Mangesh Dushing and this is the fifth lecture of chromatography. This lecture will contain a paper chromatography. So this paper chromatography is very useful in laboratory to separate the component of the mixture. Friends, what is paper chromatography? The paper chromatography may be defined as a technique in which the analysis of an unknown substance is carried out mainly by the flow of solvent, especially designed filter paper. So this is the definition for the paper chromatography. In this case, the paper can be used for a support for the stationary phase, while mobile phase is a solvent. So stationary phase is a water which is absorbed on the paper. That paper is made up of cellulose fibers. So this water, whatever the our stationary phase, that is absorbed on these cellulose fibers, and this can be used as a stationary phase. So in this case, whatever the paper chromatography, the stationary phase is not a paper. The stationary phase is a lead water which is absorbed on the surface of this paper, while mobile phase is a mixture of one or more organic solvents, maybe water also. So liquid is a mobile phase and liquid is a stationary phase. That's why this is called as partition type of chromatography. So we will see the principle. What is the principle for the separation in this paper chromatography? It is a kind of liquid-liquid partition chromatography because the stationary phase is liquid as well as mobile phase is also liquid. So it is a liquid-liquid partition type of chromatography in which separation is based on the differences in the distribution, that is solubility of the solids in two immiscible liquid phases. So this separation mainly occurs due to difference in their solubility of the components of mixture in two different phases, stationary phase as well as mobile phase. Depending upon that, separation of the components of mixture will occur. The solids which are more soluble in stationary phase moves slowly, while those more soluble in mobile phase moves fast. Thus, the different solids moves at different rates and appears as different spots at different places on the paper. This is the principle for the separation in paper chromatography. Now we'll see steps in a paper chromatography. What are the steps we have to follow in a paper chromatography? So these are the few steps, that is 5 steps we have to follow while doing this paper chromatography. So first one is application of the sample on paper. So you have to apply the mixture of sample on a proper paper, appropriate paper. Then saturation of the tank, saturation with the mobile phase in a tank. Development of chromatogram. Then you have to run this solvent on this paper. So that is called as development of chromatogram. Then locate the spots. Where are the spots are there? Where are the components are there? That is called as location of the spots. Then after location of the spots, measurement of RF values and identification of the solids. So RF values we will learn what is that, and identification of the solids, which are the components are there by various spectroscopic techniques and physical techniques. Now we will see one by one how that paper chromatography works. So first step is application of the sample on paper. Friends, for that purpose we have to take a Whatman filter paper of appropriate size in a rectangular manner. Then we have to use or draw a line by the pencil for sample application. That should be 0.5 centimeter from the bottom of the rectangular paper. This paper may be Whatman filter paper, simple filter paper, depending upon that requirement. So this distance may varies according to the size of paper also and according to the solvent. What sample should be very small spot. We have to apply the sample by using the capillary, small capillary, or by using a micropipette, so that we have to apply the sample over here. For that purpose we have to dissolve our sample into appropriate solvent and to make a solution. This solution should be very dilute, so separation will be occur very effectively. dilute solution of the sample you have to apply on the paper by using a micropipette or capillary. The spot must be made as small as possible for maximum separation and minimum tailing, that is spreading. The next step is saturation of the tank. For that purpose we have to take a appropriate size tank, maybe beaker like tank. So in that case we have to take a solvent, whatever the appropriate solvent according to the polarity of the components and according to that we have to take the appropriate solvent. Then this paper you have to hang in that solvent in such a way that whatever your sample, that should not be deep into the solvent, that should be above the solvent. Then you have to apply as per requirement, you have to apply or put a filter paper into the tank. So what will happen, that another filter paper absorbs or that solvent. So solvent vapors which accumulated in the tank, whatever that beaker like tank, and that should be closed by a lid, so that whatever the vapors of the mobile phase that are saturated into the tank, that is called as saturation of the tank. The tank should be closed. The air is saturated with the solvent vapors to prevent the evaporation of the solvent from surface of the paper. So as it moves up by capillary action, the liquid is called as developing solvent. Third step is development of chromatograph. Friends, the process of separation of the components of the mixture in the form of bands or spots of pure substances at different places on the chromatogram is called as development of chromatogram. So the process of appearance of the bands or spots on our filter paper or paper which is used for the chromatography, that is called as development of chromatogram. So in this way, after running these solvents at appropriate level, that should be ते पूर्णपणे रन व्हायला नको, इथपर्यंत यायला नको, काहीतरी 0.5 सेंटीमीटर्स आधीच आपल्याला रनिंग थांबवायचे आहे. तर जो हा अशा प्रकारे स्पॉट्स तयार होतात जेवढे जेवढे तुमचे कॉम्पोनंट्स असतील. सो ईच कॉम्पोनंट्स हॅव्हिंग डिफरंट प्लेस in such a way that, so this development of these spots at various places on the paper, that is called as development of chromatogram. So development of chromatogram is of two types. First one is ascending development, means whatever the running solvent or mobile phase is at the bottom and that goes up by using the capillarity action, that is capillarity action that is moving in opposite to the gravitational force. And second one is a descending development. In a descending development, whatever the solvent reservoir, whatever the mobile phase reservoir is on the top, and this moving to the from up to down. So spotting should be on up side, then this solvent is moving from up to down, and this chromatogram is developed from up to down, where capillarity action as well as gravitational force is useful for the development of chromatogram. So there are two types of developments. One is ascending development, one is descending development. Ascending development is from bottom to top, while descending development is from top to bottom. So what is development? The spots appears on the paper in paper chromatography, that is called as development of chromatogram. First step is the location of spots. If our components are colored, then location of the spots is very easy, that we can see by our naked eyes. But if the components are colorless, then we have to use various techniques to locate the spots. For example, like this development of the chromatogram, then suppose this spots are colorless, then how we can identify where are the spots, right? Where are the components present? So for that purpose, we have to use some physical methods like ultraviolet lamp to locate the position of components, and pencil lines is drawn around the spots of the permanent identification, राईट. आता हा तुमचा आपला क्रोमॅटोग्राम जनरेट झाला. इथे सॉल्व्हंट होतं, हा स्पॉट वरती असतो की जेणेकरून हा स्पॉट पुढे रन होतो. समजा हा स्पॉट जर डीप झालेला असेल तर इथे डिझॉल्व होऊन जाईल आपले कॉम्पोनंट्स, म्हणून हा स्पॉट्स थोडासा वरती ठेवायचा. त्याच्यानंतर सॉल्व्हंट वरती जातं अकॉर्डिंग टू द कॅपिलॅरिटी ॲक्शन. हा पूर्णपणे रन होऊ द्यायचा नाही, थोडे कमी ठेवायचा फिल्टर पेपरला. पूर्णपणे रन झाला तर व्हॉट एव्हर द आर एफ व्हॅल्यूज दॅट आर मे बी रॉंग, म्हणून आपल्याला एक पर्टिक्युलर अमाऊंट कमी ठेवायचं, म्हणजे 1 सेंटीमीटर 2 सेंटीमीटर अकॉर्डिंग टू द साईज ऑफ दॅट फिल्टर पेपर. त्याच्यानंतर जो क्रोमॅटोग्राम जनरेट होईल, आता इथे कलर दाखवला आहे, पण समजा तो कलरलेस असेल तर आपल्याला तो लोकेट करावा लागेल. तो लोकेट करण्यासाठी कोणत्या मेथड वापरायच्या, तर एक पहिली आहे फिजिकल मेथड. इन दॅट केस वी हॅव टू यूज द अल्ट्राव्हायलेट लॅम्प. काय करायचं, हा पेपर काढायचा, त्याला ड्राय करायचा आणि तो अल्ट्राव्हायलेट लॅम्प खाली ठेवायचा. If the components containing unsaturation that absorbs the ultraviolet radiations and the spots appears as a dark, and then you have to mark a paper. त्याला गोल करायचं, म्हणजे तो स्पॉट तिथे लोकेट करायचा आपल्याला. दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज फिजिकल मेथड. सो जर कंपाऊंड तुमचा ॲरोमॅटिक असेल किंवा अनसॅच्युरेटेड असेल तर तो अल्ट्राव्हायलेट रेज ॲब्झॉर्ब करतो आणि तो तिथे ब्लॅक स्पॉट दाखवतो. त्याला आपण सर्कल करायचं आणि काढून सेपरेट करायचं. सो किंवा त्याचं आर एफ व्हॅल्यूज मेजर करायचं इन दिस वे. सेकंड मेथड इज ए केमिकल मेथड. सो सपोज दॅट इज ॲलिफॅटिक कंपाउंड्स, देन वी कॅन्ट यूज दिस अल्ट्राव्हायलेट लॅम्प बिकॉज ॲलिफॅटिक कंपाउंड्स वोंट ॲब्झॉर्ब द अल्ट्राव्हायलेट रेज. So for that purpose, this is the second method, chemical method. So the colorless components are converted into colored components, color product, by the reaction with chemical reagents. A chemical can be in the state of gas, liquid or solid. So to make these colorless components into colored one, you have to use some chemicals. So this whatever the chemicals we are using, reagents we are using, that reacts with our components and giving a color product. So we can locate the position of that spot. So for that purpose we have to use some chemical reagents. Those chemical reagent can be a gas, liquid or solid. For different type of compounds we can use different types of reagent according to which type of components are there. So we know that one. According to that we have to use the chemical reagent. For example, potassium chromate solution in water, that will be used for methyl, ethyl, tertiary butyl alcohols. So alcohols will get oxidized with this K2Cr2O potassium chromate, monochromate, and gives colored product. So we can locate the spots. Suppose metallic ions are there from the second group, then we have to use a H2S gas. So what will happen? Some black spots will be there because that forms a sulfur salts of that metal ions. Then we can use iodine vapors. Similarly, instead of these solvents, we can put iodine pellets over here and put this filter paper, dry filter paper in it. So what will happen? Whatever the iodine vapors are there, that will get adsorb on the compounds and brown spot will appear. So we can locate the spot and make a circle. This is a good for the compounds which contains unsaturations, the compounds which contains aromatic compounds. So this iodine vapors is very good reagent for the spotting of components. Then another one is the amino acids. Amino acids, by spraying the solution of inenhydrin, which is converted into blue or purple spray. So in terms of separation of amino acids, we can use a ninhydrin solution. Just spray on it. Then what will happen? Whatever the components are there, whatever the amino acids are there, they will convert into a complex which has a blue or purple color. So we can locate that spot and make a circle. Friends, these are for specific components, specific molecules, but in generally we can use a anisaldehyde solution in sulfuric acid and alcohol, so that gives a spots or colored spots for various types of organic compounds. So we can look at the spots. For carbohydrates compounds we can use a concentrated H2O super spraying, so carbohydrate will get dehydrates and black spots will appear. So according to that, which types of components are there, according to that we have to use this chemical methods, we have to use this chemical reagents for the spotting. So after the spotting we have to do a identification of the components. So for that purpose one term is there, that is called as RF. So RF, it means that retardation factor. So what is RF? Is defined as the RF is defined as the ratio of the distance traveled by the given substance from a origin to the distance traveled by the solvent. So RF value is the ratio of distance traveled by the substance to the distance traveled by the solvent, that is called as RF value, retardation factor. So see here, suppose this is our chromatogram generated, this is the origin म्हणजे आपण जिथे स्पॉट ठेवला होता, नॉट अ लेवल ऑफ सॉल्व्हेंट, जिथे आपण स्पॉट ठेवलं त्या स्पॉटपासून आपल्याला डिस्टन्स मोजायचं असतं बाय युजिंग द स्केल. कुठपर्यंत जिथपर्यंत आपण सॉल्व्हेंट रन केलं होतं बघा, सी इन दिस केस दिस इज द सॉल्व्हेंट फ्रंट, तर या स्पॉटपासून तर या स्पॉटपर्यंत डिस्टन्स मोजायचं, दॅट इज कॉल्ड द डिस्टन्स ट्रॅव्हल बाय द सॉल्व्हेंट. Then you have to measure a distance from this spot to the our spot whose RF values to be determined. Okay, so in this way you have to measure a distance by using the scale. See here, इथे distance travel by the substance म्हणजे इथे स्पॉट दिला होता आपण, समजा इथून समजा पर्पलचं आपल्याला RF व्हॅल्यू कॅल्क्युलेट करायची, इथून ते इथपर्यंत डिस्टन्स मोजू करायचं, किती आलं ते 6. ओके, अँड देन डिस्टन्स ट्रॅव्हल बाय द सॉल्व्हेंट म्हणजे स्पॉटपासून तर सॉल्व्हेंट फ्रंट जिथपर्यंत आपण रन करून ठेवलं होतं तिथे आपल्याला मार्क करायचं असतं, कारण नंतर सॉल्व्हेंट इव्हॅपरेट झाल्यानंतर तो फ्रंट आपल्याला दिसत नाही, म्हणून जेव्हा आपण रन करतो त्याच वेळेस तिथे मार्क करून ठेवायचा. देन वी हॅव टू मेजर दिस डिस्टन्स, दिस इज सपोज 10 सेंटीमीटर. Now 6 by 10, so RF value will be 0.6. What is the unit of RF value? So this distance, this is the ratio of distance to distance. So centimeter will get cancelled. RF value don't have a unit. RF value is a unitless quantity. Always remember. Then the solvent, whatever this distance traveled by the solvent is always greater than the distance traveled by the substance. कारण सॉल्व्हेंट इथे रन झालं आहे, आपले हे सबस्टन्स सॉल्व्हेंट वरती घेऊन येतो, म्हणून हे सबस्टन्स सॉल्व्हेंटच्या पुढे कधी जाणार नाही. सो डिस्टन्स ट्रॅव्हल बाय द सबस्टन्स इज ऑलवेज लेस दॅन द डिस्टन्स ट्रॅव्हल बाय द सॉल्व्हेंट. दिस मेक्स दिस रेशियो इज ऑलवेज लेस दॅन 1. दिस रेशियो इज ऑलवेज लेस दॅन 1. It should not be less than, it should not be more than 1. RF value is the short form of retardation factor. This is the characteristic property for each substance. So each substance has this characteristic RF value. So for particular mixture of solvent, particular solvent, the particular component travels a same distance. So that is called as characteristic of the substance. This can be used for qualitative detection of the separated components because this is the characteristic property of the substance. In some cases it is observed that the solvent front goes beyond the end of the paper. In such a case it is more convenient to express the movement of any substance just by comparing with the movement of some standard substance. This represented by RS, a retardation factor with respect to the standard. In sugars, the movement are compared with that of glucose and the values are expressed as a Rg values. Now we'll see two-dimensional paper chromatography. Friends, suppose our mixture contains components which are difficult to be separate out by using this simple chromatography. By using this simple paper chromatography, then we can use the two-dimensional paper chromatography. This is the advantage with respect to this paper chromatography. So we can use a two-dimensional paper chromatography. The two-dimensional paper chromatography is another complex setup which used to separate the complex mixture. In this method, the development of chromatograph is done as it in previous method. See what is the procedure. In this way, we had to choose a proper size paper and then we had to spot our solution of mixture at the corner by using capillary or by using micropipettes. Right, now we'll see what is the procedure. The solvent is placed at the bottom of the tank. This is the solvent, running solvent, and the filter paper saturated with the stationary phase is kept inside the tank. The development occurs inwards but very slowly because it is against the gravity as well as component its complex one. So this tank we should saturate with the mobile phase, that should be closed. This is on the corner. So this solvent is moves from downside to upside against the gravitational force but by capillarity action. So there will be the development of chromatogram in a vertical manner. Right. The second step, after a few minutes or time, the filter paper is turned 90 degrees clockwise. The tank is filled with a different type of solvent. If there is no pronounced separation, then a development is proceeded by the C stage. See here, after development of this, suppose this contains a complex components, so those are difficult to separate. See here, two spots are there, here also two spots are there. This is difficult to separate out. Then what you do, take out this paper, dry it, then what you do, fill the tank with another solvents as per requirement and rotate this filter paper with 90 degrees. Rotate this filter paper with 90 degrees and run this solvent over this one. So this is called as, so after some time it generates a chromatogram like this. So now we can locate the spot at different, we can locate the components at different spots over here. So this is the advantage to separate the complex mixture by using this paper chromatography. This is the very good advantage of a paper chromatography. We can use a two-dimensional paper. We can develop a two-dimensional chromatogram. So in this way, this end up with the satisfactory separation. If not, again it should be turned and use another solvent. परत तुम्ही 90 डिग्रीजने रोटेट करू शकता आणि परत तुम्ही डिफरंट सॉल्व्हेंट यूज करून परत रन करू शकता. So this is called as two-dimensional paper chromatography. Now we'll see the applications, some of the applications of paper chromatography. It is used for the separation of very small amounts of substances. In biochemistry, we often come across very small amount of complex samples, then we can use this paper chromatography. It is used for the separation of amino acids. So amino acids we can separate by using this paper chromatography and locate that spots by using our mean hydrogen solution. Two-dimensional chromatography is used for the separation of complex mixtures. So when RF values are very close enough, then in such case we have advantage of using a two-dimensional paper chromatography. to separate the protein hydrolysis. It can be used for the separation of organic as well as inorganic substances. So in organic reactions, various products if obtained, even in isolation of the organic compounds from the biological sources, then there will be the mixture of organic compounds. So by using this paper chromatography, we can able to separate those components. Modified cellulose paper can be used as various techniques for the chromatography. So modified filter paper can be used as a inert solid support for the liquid stationary phase. The paper can be modified by changing chemical structure of the cellulose. By, for example, paper can be impregnated with the alumina, silica gel, ion exchange, likewise. So we can alter the efficiency of that paper. It has also been used for the analysis of mixture of sugars. In this case, spots are visualized by spraying the anisaldehyde and aniline hydrogen phthalate solutions. So this can be used for the separation of sugars. So various types of sugars are there. So if the mixture is obtained, we can separate by using this paper chromatography, and we can visualize the spots by spraying the anisaldehyde solution. Anisaldehyde solution is very good for the carbonyl compounds. We can also use aniline hydrogen phthalate also. So in this way we have learned the paper chromatography. In next lecture we will learn thin layer chromatography, that is TLC. Thank you for watching.